Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and this week we are swapping my screen time for reading time. I have seen this challenge done by so many people on YouTube, and I wanted to do it. But I am a working mother of two toddlers, and when would I ever be able to have time to do this challenge? Well, I'm on vacation, and so I have the time. I will be swapping my screen time for reading from Tuesday to Saturday this week, so almost a full week, but I feel like a good enough amount of time that I can see what it feels like to not look at my screen for those amount of hours and get some good reading done. So I actually started this vlog yesterday, so let's rewind back to Tuesday and see how much I had to read. Sorry for the terrible lighting, but this is where we're going to start my swapping screen time for reading vlog. It's Tuesday currently, and as you can tell, it's already late. Late. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, but I'm going to start swapping my screen time right now. And the reason is because we are driving to Chicago, and so we have quite a long drive ahead of us. And so I think I can get my screen time / reading time in. So I said it was Tuesday. So last Tuesday I looked at my screen for 3 hours and 7 minutes. So I am going to set a timer for 3 hours and 7 minutes. You see. And I am going to start listening to an audiobook. So I need to read my Mary Bookmas book, or readathon group book, which is Find Him Where You Left Him Dead by Kristen Simmons. And so I'm going to start that. It's a 9.5 hour audiobook. We will see how much I can get done in these 3 hours and 7 minutes that I have to read tonight. Driving now, and I am down to 46 minutes and 12 seconds on my timer. So I listened to, I can't do the math, more than 2 hours of that audiobook, or listened for 2 hours. I listened at like 2 times the speed, so I got pretty far. I don't know exactly how far. I should know that. Please hold. 44% of the way through the book already, and I'm not enjoying it. Horror is just not my genre, and I said I would give it a try for the readathon, but not enjoying it. So for my last 46 minutes, I will be jumping to my Kindle book, which is Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory, and I can do that because Willie's driving. So I can actually read a physical book. Well, an e-book. And we should be to Chicago in like an hour and a half. We made it to our destination. However, I got a little sleepy in the car, and I still have 19 minutes left on my timer. So I'm going to quickly, well, not quickly, but I'm going to take the 19 minutes and read more of Royal Holiday before bed. And then I'll do maybe a recap of how the day went tomorrow morning with like how many pages I read in those 3 hours and 7 minutes for Tuesday. Here goes. Okay, I did it. Good night. So yesterday I read for 3 hours and 7 minutes, as you saw, and I just wanted to give you some stats as to the amount of pages I read in those 3 hours and 7 minutes. In The Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory, I read 52 pages. And in Find Him Where You Left Him Dead, I read about 119 pages. So total 171 pages read in those 3 hours and 7 minutes. Now let's go on to Wednesday. It's Wednesday. And if I'm remembering correctly, gotta find my phone, I have to read for 3 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm gonna start reading now and see how far I can get. I am feeling just a little stuck in both Royal Holiday and Find Him Where You Left Him Dead, and so I am wanting to start and most likely finish Heartstopper Volume 5. I just got this in the mail yesterday because it just came out yesterday in the US, and so I'm going to quick knock this one out to feel like I'm making some progress in reading, and also just because I really want to read it. So I'm gonna jump into this and start my reading time for the day. I have 3 hours and 4 minutes left, which means I finished Heartstopper Volume 5 in just over 40 minutes. It was so good. I had read some of it already in Webtoons, and so maybe I got through it faster because I kind of already knew some of the plot, but it just has such great mental health representation, such great LGBTQ representation. Yeah, it's good. I am not so super interested in the uni visits that Nick is going on, but I mean, that's a part of Nick and Charlie's story, so I'm there for it. Let's see. Now that I've read an entire book in only 40 minutes, I have to decide what I'm going to read next. I think I'll go back to listening to Find Him Where You Left Him Dead. I just want to zoom through that. I'm not really enjoying it as much as I thought I could, but anyway. And I'll probably do something with my hands, either cross stitch or maybe start planning out my reading journal for 2024, which you've already seen by the time this video comes out, but something I can do while I listen to a book. So I actually finished Find Him Where You Left Him Dead, and I have 20 minutes. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. 20 minutes. Focus. 20 minutes left on the timer, and so I think I'm gonna take a break from reading for just a little bit and do those last 20 minutes in a little bit. Take a breather because I'm tired from all the listening I've done. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm at. Okie dokie. As you saw, I completed my goal yesterday of reading 3 hours and 45 minutes. Let's check on the stats if I had my phone. Ta-da! Okay, so I read Heartstopper, which was 318 pages. Granted, they're graphic novel pages, so take that as you will, but I'm going to count it as 318 pages. In Royal Holiday, I ended up reading 32 pages, and in Find Him Where You Left Him Dead, I finished it and read 152 pages. So total, that is 502 pages in the 3 hours and 45 minutes that I had. Now, today is Thursday, and I think Thursday is my longest amount of screen time from last week. Let me just double check. Okay, 4 hours and 24 minutes. That's a big one. Good thing we're starting a little earlier. It's about 9:45 in the morning. So I've got to read for about 4.5 hours today. I am going to start a new audiobook. I'm thinking about Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. That is a thriller / horror that takes place in an isolated cabin in winter. Should be fun. And then I also want to try to get through another graphic novel / manga. So I'll need to decide between volume 2 of The Promised Neverland or Spy Family volume 8. I liked how I kind of got through a whole book yesterday with Heartstopper, so I want to keep that trend going with one of these. And then whenever I read physically, I'll read The Royal Holiday also. So that's the plan. Let's see what we can get read. So I read the entirety of volume 8 of Spy Family, and I'm at 3 hours and 38 minutes left. So it took me like 45-ish minutes to read. That one was a good one. I really liked it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I just liked the fact that they were on a ship, a cruise ship the whole time, and fighting this one battle basically the whole time. So I liked that one. Now I'm going to start listening to Dead of Winter. And while I listen, I'm going to finish working on my reading journal. Bad news, everyone. I just went to my Everand app to listen to Dead of Winter, and I reached my max already for December, which makes no sense. So, I can't listen to Dead of Winter. The one audiobook I have currently is Royal Holiday, the book I'm reading physically on my ebook. So I have to find where I am in that, and I'll be able to listen to that, I guess, while I finish up my reading journal. So that's a bummer, but that's okay. We'll make do with listening to Royal Holiday. Okay, so I do have a shirt on. It just doesn't look like it, and ignore my terrible zit. It's also very yellow in this room. Okay, I am at 1 hour and 24 minutes left. I just finished Royal Holiday, and it was okay. It was cute. A cute romance with some fun travel involved, so that was good. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to read for the next 1.5 hours. I'm really bummed about my Dead of Winter audiobook. And for some reason my Evernote is being, Everand is being really weird. Like, none of my audiobooks are showing up. And the ones that say like they're available January 3rd, there's only 2. So I don't know where all my audiobooks are. I'm gonna need to do some digging. But I will listen or read to something. Maybe I'll just pick up, I don't know what I want to do. I could read the other manga I have, which is The Promised Neverland, Volume 2, or I could pick up A Christmas Carol, which could be just a short little fun one to read before the holiday. I know you're seeing this in January, but it's still before the holiday for me. Decisions. I'll come back on and let you know what I decide. forgot to close out yesterday, Thursday, my 4 hours and 24-minute day, because I finished my reading during a concert and I really shouldn't have recorded that, so I didn't. I really maybe shouldn't have been reading, but my husband said it was okay. So I was reading on my Kindle during the concert when I finished my 4.5-ish hours of reading. Let's do a recap. I was able to finish Royal Holiday, which was 158 pages. I read the entirety of Spy Family, Volume 8 by Tatsuya Endo, which was 216 pages. Again, this is a manga, so the 216 pages are probably not comparable to other pages that have more text, but that's okay. I'm counting it as 216. I started Fourth Wing, as you saw. I just tried like the first chapter or so. I'm 11 pages in. And then I switched to Dead of Winter, which I didn't show at all. This is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. And I got 72 pages into Dead of Winter. So if you add that all up, it's 457 pages in 4 hours and 24 minutes. Pretty dang good. So now we're on to Friday. Friday last week was super busy. I was prepping for my Christmas program, and so I don't think I was on my screen as much. This might be my lowest day. Let's just make sure. Okay, last Friday was 2 hours and 46 minutes. So I'm going to be doing that mostly physically. Like I said yesterday, my Dead of Winter audiobook is no more on Everand because of jail. And so I'll be reading mostly physically today. If I do pick up an audiobook, it'll be something new, and I'll tell you what it is as we go. But if I read for 2 hours and 46 minutes, I might get 200 pages in. We'll see. I could probably finish Dead of Winter. It's thrilling, guys. It's a good one. This is a mystery thriller horror by Darcy Coates, and it's like a one-by-one trope where they're in a blizzard in the middle of nowhere, and it's good. It's definitely more horrific than like Ruth Ware's One by One, but I'm still enjoying it. So I think I will jump into this one first. So I'm needing to rest my eyeballs a little bit. I'm at 1:38 left on the timer, so haven't even read for an hour. But I decided to find an audiobook of A Christmas Carol. I wanted to read a classic this month for Whitney's Genre-a-thon. Her channel name is Tibrose Den. I'll link her down below. And her final challenge for the year was a classic. And I just decided to pick this up on a whim because it's almost Christmas. And I did find an audiobook on Everand, and it's a dramatic reading. So there are different narrators for each of the voices. And I thought I could get some things done while I listen. So I'm going to switch to that and start the timer. It says at the speed I'm listening, it'll take me 1 hour and 59. We'll see if I can speed things up. But I've got 1 hour 38 left to read. Let's go. So I got 100 pages into A Christmas Carol and my timer went off. So I read my full 246, was it? Today. I think I'll read more. I'm really into Dead of Winter, and I mean I have 20 pages left of A Christmas Carol to read. So I'll probably read more than the 2 hours and 46 minutes, but also maybe not. Because I might be reading later, let's just actually go through the amount of pages I've read now. So, like I said, 101 pages in A Christmas Carol, and in Dead of Winter, I got to page 137. What was I at this morning? Let me look. 72. So I read 65 pages in Dead of Winter, and I read 101 pages in Christmas Carol. So I read 166 pages in my 2 hours and 46 minutes. Doing well, everyone. I will see you tomorrow with my last day of swapping screen time for reading. Hello everyone, it's the last day of this challenge and the last day of our vacation. We're heading home, and I think, I can't exactly remember how long I had. I did already start listening to some books on the trip, so I finished listening to A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and that one's good, as always. Just a nice reminder of how we should act and treat others. And then I also started listening to ACOWAR, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the next one I needed to read in the ACOTAR series and the only other audiobook I had available to listen because everything else was taken from Everand. So, yep, 3 hours and 55 minutes. So I did start that timer. Oh, hi, Willie. I did start that timer earlier when I listened to both Christmas Carol and ACOWAR, and so now I have 2 hours and 52 minutes left, and we've got a bit of a drive, so I think I will read some of Dead of Winter. It has been a long day of travel, and I am in bed currently. It is 11:30, and I have 25 minutes left on my timer today. So I am going to read Dead of Winter until that's done. And then we'll probably come back on tomorrow to recap the whole week and how the experiment went of swapping my screen time for reading. I forgot to mention, the whole time today in the car, I was listening to A Court of Wings and Ruin. So that's the audiobook I ended up choosing. I finished A Christmas Carol. I only had like 11 minutes left to listen, so that barely took up any of my time. And then the rest of the time was basically listening to ACOWAR. I read a little bit physically while Willie was driving, and I was writing, but going to need to do the rest of this 25 minutes physically because I did too much audio. Hello everyone. It is now many a days later, and I realized I never closed out this fun video. I'm so happy I did it, but I wanted to end with some fun stats and numbers because that is just who I am. So yesterday for you, but Saturday, a couple of weeks ago, I read a total of 229 pages in the, 3 hours and 55 minutes that I had. 38 pages was in Dead of Winter, 21 pages finished off A Christmas Carol, and then I read 170 pages in A Court of Wings and Ruin. So that was a total of 229 pages. If you total up from these 5 days, all of my pages, I read 1,525 pages, which is pretty dang good in 5 days. That's like, what, 300 pages a day? Awesome, awesome work, me. And then just because the whole goal of this was to swap my screen time for reading time, I wanted to see if my screen time actually lowered from the week that I looked at the screen time to the week that I did the reading. So, just for fun, Tuesday I had to read 3 hours and 7 minutes, and my screen time dropped to 3 hours and 1 minute. So 6 minutes less. Wednesday actually increased. I had to read for 3 hours and 45 minutes, and my screen time that day was 3 hours and 54 minutes. Thursday was a good day. I had to read for 4 hours and 24 minutes, but my screen time dropped down then to 3 hours and 19 minutes. Friday jumped up again, 2 hours and 46 minutes of reading, but 3 hours and 38 minutes of screen time. And lastly, Saturday was a significant decrease. 3 hours and 55 minutes I had to read, and 2 hours and 58 minutes was screen time. So it helped a little bit, but It was about the same. But I think overall what I learned is that I should be reading instead of looking at my screen, because I can get a lot of pages read if I set my mind to it. So anyway, that was a fun little challenge that I did. I'm so excited I was able to finally get this challenge done. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments down below, let me know what your average weekly screen time was from last week. That would be fun. I'll tell you mine quick. 4 hours and 17 minutes was my average. Anyway, see if you can beat me. Like this video on your way out. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more bookish and bullet journaling content from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!